These are so good. It is a paloma. It's a grapefruit paloma. I got it at Target. So today I'm gonna talk about a really embarrassing story of a time that I got kicked out of my favorite strip club out here in Phoenix. It's called Jaguars. But basically I got so drunk that they made me leave, which rightfully so, because I was an embarrassment. So basically I'm gonna just kind of set up the scene. That night I had got a table and bottle, and I had really it's embarrassing, but like I had thought like a lot of people were gonna come, so, or not a lot, but maybe like a good 5, you know, less than 10 people, but I thought people were gonna come. So I got a table and bottle at the club, and basically I was celebrating finishing my master's. It wasn't my graduation yet, but I was like finishing my last class of my master's degree, so I wanted to celebrate. And I don't really like to go to clubs. I like to go to strip clubs. I guess it's like, I know people are gonna judge for that, but I don't like to be in the clubs. I like to be in like small little bars, lounges, and strip clubs. So I got a table there, and I had got a bottle of Buchanan's. Well, I say Buchanan's, but I know some people like get mad and they're like, it's Buchanan's. So I got Buchanan's. Let me take another drink. That night, I mean, I got ready. I was wearing my favorite green dress, which I'll insert a picture. I was wearing 2 fajas. So I was wearing like a faja that is like from like under the boob and down, and it has like leg spanks, and I was wearing a faja that's just for your waist, that like cinches you in. So I did the most to squeeze into that dress, and I was feeling so happy. One thing I would say is, like, at that time I had like a lot of changes in life. So I had just gotten like my first apartment. I was finishing my master's, just found out I was going to be an aunt for the first time, and I had just recently lost a family member. So I just think like I just really wanted to have a good time that night. So I was like, you know what, there's a lot of good things that are happening, you know, with the unfortunate that I had lost a family member. And so it's like, I'm gonna just go out, have a good time, get a table, whatever, be with my friends. And so basically my cousin, who was my DD, and her girlfriend, you know, they come pick me up. We go to the club and we get the table, and I'm like thinking like they're gonna drink with me at least a little bit, and they were like no, like they weren't gonna drink. So I'm like, oh, so like you're not drinking. So I was like, all right, well. As the night goes on, like people are telling me they're not coming, and I was so embarrassed. This is why I don't like to make celebrations, because when people don't show up, it's embarrassing. And so people were like, oh, like I can't make it, whatever. It was like, I just got so sad. I got so sad at the club. I started just downing like my drinks, like downing the bottle by myself, because they were not drinking with me. And so basically what happened is like I blacked out. I drank so much that I don't even know. I don't have like really much memory. This is like a big reason why I don't drink like I used to. I don't drink as much. I don't go out as much. But all I can remember is that I was getting like a dance, and I just remember like I normally have really long nails, naturally long nails, and I just remember I poked the stripper's butt with my thumbnail like by accident, and then I just remember like her being like all over me, and it was just like it was a mess, and I'm embarrassed when I think about it. But basically I was so drunk, they told my cousin like, you guys gotta go, because I was a mess. And so we left, and all I can remember from that night is that I feel so bad for my cousin, but I threw up everywhere in her car. I mean, she didn't have like a fancy car, so there was that, and I think she was like gonna sell that car anyways, but I threw up anywhere. So it gets worse. I was, you know, wearing my 2 fajas, and I needed to get out of that faja. Like, I needed to take them off. So I'm like, take me to the bathroom, I need to go pee. And so there's a gas station out here called QT. It's very popular. We go to QT, and I'm like struggling. I'm like, get me out of these fajas. So literally they like had to tear me out of my dress and my faja. Well, they didn't tear me out, but they were like taking my stuff off, and I was just in the QT bathroom just naked. Like, it was so, I think about it, I'm like, oh, how cringy. But somehow, you know, I got dressed again, and I just remember like throwing up in the back of my cousin's car. Like, I feel so bad. I feel bad for her, at the same time I don't. That's like years of payback to her. And so I just remember getting to my apartment, they lay me down and like put the trash can next to my bed and whatever. I wake up, because I cannot sleep when I drink. I will just wake up like a couple hours later. It's so miserable. But I wake up the next day, and a friend at the time, she picks me up, and we go like out to eat. And I'm like calling my cousin like, what happened last night? And she's telling me everything, because I don't even remember half of it. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that was me? And so I never drank like that again. I don't think after that I ever blacked out again. I think that was the last time I blacked out. If I remember correctly, since then, which that was in 2017, so it's been like a good 3 years, I haven't gotten that drunk. And with reason, because I was so embarrassed. Not even that, like, I was embarrassed that nobody showed up for my celebration. I was embarrassed that I got kicked out, and I'm embarrassed that I like threw up everywhere, and that I ended up at QT naked. So I get like real wild, like the next person. You know, all of us get crazy when we drink, but I get crazy. So that's just a little story time. I know it's not like as wild. You had to be there, and luckily, to be honest, nobody else was there to see it. So I'm kind of glad like a lot of people didn't show up. I always think about like how more embarrassed if people would have saw it firsthand, or maybe I wouldn't have drank so much if other people had came and I didn't just chug the whole bottle by myself. And since then I get a little like traumatized when I drink bucanas. But that is my story time. I wish I had more to say, but to be completely honest, I don't remember much of the night. I get little mini flashbacks, and really a lot of it is what my cousin told me. And when she tells me, I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember that now. Like I get like these little pictures in my head. I'm like, oh my god. I think the worst part was when I poked the stripper in her ass, like nearly her butthole, to be completely honest. I'm embarrassed by that. I don't get real handsy at the club, but apparently when I'm drunk I get handsy. So there's my story time. Let me know Have you ever been kicked out of the strip club? Have you ever poked a stripper in her ass? Have you ever ended up at the gas station bathroom naked? I would love to hear those stories.